Hello, hello. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Pastor Julian here from PastorJulian.com. And I am hopping on here right quick because I want to share a few things with you, share a few notable things that I would like to kind of talk about, especially everything that's going on right now. I think it's important too that we kind of have a plan, create a plan, because we don't know uh, how long these things are going to be, how long these things are going to transpire. And so it's good to kind of have a plan of attack during this time, so you don't just be kind of just in a panic like everyone else is. And so wanted to just out here and just say, give a few suggestions on some things that can be done while you're experiencing this time. We know that the coronavirus is affecting not just the country, but the whole world. And people have, some have been affected. Some have actually died because of the virus. Some are affected and they're doing okay. But it's even though you have not been infected, and whether or not you've been infected, everyone has been affected by what's going on now. People have tried to perform work from home options on their job. If you're like me, your children are at home with you for the next 30, 60, however long, many days they're going to do this. And so you have to consider what you're going to be doing in that regard from this point on, trying to figure out kind of how to deal with the havoc of having to be at home. Some have chosen to shelter in place. Some restaurants have went from some just being closed down. Some restaurants have actually started doing curbside services and delivery, Grubhub and Uber Eats and all those types of things. So, what are you going to do? What are you doing now since you're at home, or maybe homebound, or working from home, or whatever you're doing? What have you thought about doing in this time to kind of get you past all the confusion? So I want to share with you a few things that you could consider doing at this time, since you are at home. If you're like me, having your children at home, uh, what things you could do while you're here in that standpoint, because we don't know how long it's going to be uh, going on. But I do believe, and my faith believes and tells me that even in the midst of this, God is still in control. And so I want to kind of give you some ideas on what you can do during this panic. Number one is don't panic. A lot of people are panicking, and it seems like the fear is spreading, and the panic is spreading worse than the virus actually is spreading. More people are in fear and in panic than actually are infected by the virus. But don't be one of those who are panicking in this time. Um, uh, it's good to have a clear goal and perspective on what you need to be doing during this time. But I will say, number one, don't panic during the panic, because when we panic, that's the time we make bad decisions. We do things that are just out of sorts. We make decisions and say things and do things that we feel like we have to take back later, or we reap bad consequences from those actions later on. So one thing I would say and encourage you to do in this time is don't panic. Number one, don't panic. Number two, because I'm a believer, I would always say you need to pray, and I should say pray and trust God. Trust in the prayers that you're giving to God. Pray to make sure and understand that God is in control. He has your back. He's going to make sure that you are taken care of, your family is taken care of. He's a sovereign God. He's going to make sure that He knows what's going on. He knew what was going to happen before it happened. So trust in God that He's going to show you what to do for the next step, and for the several different days, or maybe even months, or whatever, however long this is going to last. uh, be prayerful about what's going on and be informed about what's going on. We have it all over the news, all over Facebook, all over the different media outlets is talking about this epidemic and what's going on. So stay informed and stay prayerful. That even though you see the things that are happening, you still have a God who is in control and sovereign, who's going to take care of you and make sure that you have everything you need, and things are going to be all right for you. All right. So number one, don't panic. Number two, pray. Number three is to please practice safety and good hygiene. You want to make sure this time to continue to, as they say, wash your hands. Make sure you disinfect things around you as much as you can. Practice your social distancing as you need to at this time. Those who are doing that, practice your social distancing. Make sure that you have your areas clean. If you have people coming over your house, make sure that they washing their hands and they're clean as much as they can be, or whatever. However, that's going to make sure that your needs are being met, and things of that nature are being done as it needs to be. So you want to consider those things. All right. Number four is quality time. If you're like me, your children are home with you for at least the next 30 days. And my all three of my kids are home with me for at least the next 30 days. So quality time is going to be a big thing for us um, within these next 30 days. So we're talking about, playing games in the house, um, working on goals and stuff like that for my teenager who's 18, who's graduating this year. We're dealing with that. Um, Also, have this at family time. We're going outside still and enjoying the outdoors. I plan on going to the park to spend some time with them there, but being careful as we go to the park. Make sure we have our hand sanitizer as clean as we can be. We're not operating in fear. That's one thing I do want to say. We're not operating in fear. I do believe that God is in control, so we don't have to operate in fear. Even during the time we're having our quality time, we're going to make sure that we don't operate in fear, but just be safe at the time. So um, I know for those who have jobs, the jobs are sending you home, you're working from home. A lot of times, and I've discovered this, that having a job sometimes pushes you away or hinders you from having quality time with your family. We're at work 40 hours a week, and then we give our jobs the best of us, and we give our family the rest of us. And sometimes that's not good. So, in one way, we can say that this is allowing us to actually spend time with our family so that they get some of those good times and best times and our best of our energy during this time, so they don't have to be getting the rest of us and just whatever we have at the end of the day. That's what you get. And we got to schedule time other times to try to have quality time. But now you actually have your own schedule, and you can schedule quality time with your family, which is always a good thing. All right. Number five is to work on minimizing debt and expenses. Since you're home, and if you're home and if your job is in a situation to where they may be downsizing or maybe limiting your hours, you want to look at your expenses and look at your debt and see how much of that you can eliminate or not have, so that you can continue on doing well at this time. I know that um, one thing that we do is we make sure that we have our finances in order. If you can have your bills paid up as much as you can, do that. If you can eliminate debt, so you have to worry about those types of debts, those issues, you can deal with that. Um, if you have some expenses that's going out that you can cut off, maybe you don't need that cable bill right now. Maybe you can cut off some of the all the extra expenses you have in your mobile phone, that all those different bells and whistles that you got going on, those monthly bills and things that's going out and hitting your bank account monthly. Maybe if you can't afford it, maybe it's time to cut off the gym time. You can cut off the gym expenses rather. You can pick up those gym expenses later on. However you want to work that, you can do that. But if you can minimize that, if you have to, everyone is not in that same circumstance. You don't maybe you don't have to minimize your debt or expenses. But if you're in a situation to where you know that your hours are going to be cut, or the downsizing in your job, you may want to consider what expenses you can eliminate to help you get through this time for however long it may last. All right. Number six is you want to go back and review your personal and business goals. If you are a person who set up goals at the beginning of the year, I know I hear this people say it all the time. They'll say 2018 is my year, 2019 is my year, 2020 is my year, 2015, 2014. They say this is my year, and then once you get going, you've been juiced up and excited about what's going on, and then boom. In 2020, this whole thing hits and it kind of knocks you off for a minute, sets you back for a minute. You want to go back and review those goals, review those personal goals, review those business goals, because it's not that it can't happen for you, it's not that it cannot be done for you, or you cannot succeed at these things, but it may need that you may revamp some things. Maybe you thought that you were going to have a little bit more money, or a little bit more time to do these things here or there in this month or in this season, in this hour, and those things may not be working for you right now. Well, you can always take this time right now to review those goals, whether they're personal or whether they're business goals. You can start if you considering starting a business, or started a business, and now you have a minor setback. You want to review those goals to make sure you can still come out and be on the winning end of that. So you want to kind of review those goals, rewrite your vision board, rewrite your goals for the year or for the day or for the month. And it's not that you have to give up on them. It just may be that you need to just readjust them for a little bit to see if they can still be accomplished, or revamped just a little bit. I would never say give up on your goals. I would always say revisit them and revamp them. But do not, I wouldn't say give up on your goals unless it's just completely impossible. You just want to look at those things and make sure that those things can go well for you, even this time, and during this season, during this crisis that we're dealing with right now. All right. Number seven is catching up on reading those books and online training that you may have. If you're like me, I have books that I have here that I have not completed. Say, for instance, like this is a good book here by Dan Kennedy, the No BS Direct Marketing book. Great book on how to market yourself at this time. I read through it, but I haven't finished it. But I plan on finishing this book now since I have time to finish it. I'm gonna try to fit my best to finish that book. So if you're into business or marketing, that's a great book solution for you. I talked about quality time. So Pastor A.R. Bernard, who I feel like is a genius in this season, he's a genius pastor to me. He has a book called Four Things Women Want from a Man. It's a good book for any man or woman who's working on their marriage, or working on dating, or considering getting serious about their relationship. Is something to look forward to. Catch up on reading that book, finish up that book. There's different things you can do. If you like me as well, you have a whole lot of online training out there that you've purchased, or that you want to purchase, that you want to look at, but you just don't have the time to do, or you hadn't had the time to do it. Now is a great time to do that. You can purchase some online training, purchase some books to read, to where you can actually begin to invest in yourself. It's a good time to invest in yourself and actually get your skills up to where when all this kind of blows over, it gets a little bit better. The economy gets a little bit better. You're able to implement all those trainings that you went through. And if you're looking for some training, if you're a person who wants to start a business, start a company or whatever, I've actually had some training that I've done for business owners or those who wants to start up in business, and I have that link inside of this video. In the notes here, you'll see where I've actually given some ideas from online training that I've actually done that teaches you how to start a business, how to sustain the business. You may want to check those things out. You can actually check that out. I have some free lessons in there that you can look at to get you started before you even purchase it. You want to check that out and see what you can do about that, how that helps you, and if it works for you. And if it does, please let me know how that worked for you. So those are the 7 things that I consider, just want to throw out there. Number 1, don't panic. Number 2, pray. 3, practice safety and good hygiene. 4, spend quality time with your family, very important. Number 5, minimize your debt and expenses as much as you can if that's an issue for you. Number 6, want to review your personal goals and business goals. And number 7, catch up on your books and your online training. Okay, make sure that you. And not all 7 may not work for you, but some of these things might help you kind of jog your interest or whatever. And please feel free to check out my site at empoweredtg.com. That's my online training that I've done. I have 4 trainings in there now to deal with business ownership and startups. The mindset course, the financial planning course, the business formation course, and the marketing course, small business marketing course, are all in there ready for you to check out today. And if you want to know more about me, you can also always go to my website at pastorjulian.com. I have all this information for you in the show notes, in the notes here that you'll see. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Until the next video, be blessed, be safe, and be empowered.